Everybody, all right, and hey, Happy New Year 2026, and we got our first package of the year, Grim Workshop. It is 2026. Hope you had wonderful holidays. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year's. And we are back. A brand new year. Brand new openings. And we're going to kick this year off with Grim Workshop. And, look at that. Mossy Oak. It's one of those ones that has the switch out blades. Super sharp. Christmas present. Anyway, let's get into this here. Let's see what, we ended the year strong. Let's see how we can start the year off here from the Grim Workshop. Let's see. Wait. There's our packing. All right. So, if you don't know, Grim Workshop, it's $20 a month. Flat fee, no hidden fees, nothing. It's just $20. And you always get easily at least $35, $36 worth of items in this little envelope. So basically you do get your information card, which tells you what you got. Members only discount, but buy one, get one Arrowhead roundabout tool. Well, I might have to check that one out. But anyway, so let's start with we're gonna start with the information that comes in it, which is we get 2 of these Grim Workshop waterproof, like tear proof. I mean, I don't know how much to test, but these are information cards. These things are fantastic. You can fit these in an Altoid tin, and you can have yourself like a waterproof survival manual at your fingertips. Now, the information is not as expansive as it used to be. You used to have information on both sides. Now it's just one side, so it's just like a playing card deck anymore, which is kind of blah, but you know what? Information is information. And so, the first one we get, and these MSRP for $1.85, but we do have the tip card, the Flat Rock Griddle. And so basically, this is going to tell you how to use a flat rock as a griddle. How to cook with a flat rock. You know, you build your fire, you put your rocks over it, and then you cook your food on the rock. Pretty self-explanatory. It does have some warnings here. Any rock in or near a fire can explode when heated. Slate and shale are very prone to exploding, so it tells you kind of what to avoid. But yeah, so there it tells you how to use a flat rock as a griddle. And then our other DIY is a DIY quick compass. This one's pretty cool. This one's got a lot of information on it. Couple cool pictures, but a lot of information. And that's what's missing with them now, is because I used to have like picture on one side, so like you'd have like the pictures of the griddle on one side, and on the other side you'd have a lot better information, like more in-depth, detailed information. So, but it is what it is. But still, you get 2 of those. The MSRP for $1.85 each, so you're looking at almost $4 right there. Like what, $4.70, $3.70. You're looking like $3.70 right there. All right, so now let's get into it. Okay, so now our big item, and I think this is one that we've gotten before, but we do have the Grim Workshop lockpick card. Pretty much, so you've got all kinds of picks on there. I'm not sure how to use them, so I don't really know what I'm talking about, but comes complete with a half dozen lock picks and a tension wrench. This tool is the same size as standard credit card and fits in your wallet. A small tin can be used as a backpack survival kit, reduce weight and tightness. Yeah, basically that. So now, the cool thing about these ones compared to a lot of these cards is that it does have the tool retention system, which is you take these off and there's like a black film underneath it, and you can put them back on. It'll stick to the black film. If you don't know what this is, watch some of my earlier videos. I've actually displayed it. I'm pretty sure I have this one, so I'm not even going to open this because this one's just going to get set aside anyway as is. Because I know I've gotten several of these. These ones for me are the most non-exciting ones to get, but they're useful. And I've actually Um, I've actually tried using some of these on some of my padlocks, and they do work. But it definitely takes practice and skill. And in a bad situation, this would be a skill you might want to have, because you might need to get through a fence in a survival situation. Don't break any laws. I'm not telling you to break any laws, but you might need them. So anyway, and then the last item we have here. Oh, and this MSRP's that the card is $19.95. So right there, that's your $20 for that item right there. So we got $19.95. So take 5 cents from this. So we're $3.65 extra if we would have bought all this. And then the last one we have here, and this MSRP is for $9.99, and this is a pretty good looking one here. Is the extra large spool tool, the extra large version of our wildly popular micro tool spools. This one is designed to hold multiple types of cordage, including paracord or tapes, at the same time. A compact and versatile solution for cordage and tape needs. Crafted from durable stainless steel and perfectly sized for your keychain. This is a metal spool designed to separate 3 sections to neatly wrap paracord, tape, wire, more. So, as you can see here, you have like pretty much just a spool, right? And so like you could put like tape right here, right? You could put tape right here. You could put, say you had something like this Inferno microcord we got, something really small. You could wrap some or bank line right in here, and then over here you could put in some fishing line. So you could have tape, bank line, and fishing line all in one handy spool. And then, boom, you put this in your pack, and you have it where it's all divided up. It's neat, it's tidy, and it's just a good way to organize your cordage. So that's a really cool item right there. This one is larger, so this is one of the few that they've sent me that will not fit in a credit card, obviously, in your credit card slot. But that's a really cool item. That's something that I bought some things like this from Creek Stewart. I bought some cordage wraps made out of wood. But this one is in my opinion, this is a lot better. Because, like I said, I'll probably do this. I'll get this set up and I'll show you how we're going to use this. But we'll put some tape on here. Then we'll put some cordage here. Probably some of this this Inferno microcord is supposed to be super strong. And we'll put that to the test. And then we'll put some fishing line on there. I got some fish line right here somewhere. But yeah, and then we'll get that all set up, and then this can go into another kit. Like say you have, where the heck is it at? I really need to get organized. That is one thing I have to do. But let's say that you have something this size, right? Obviously, this is a medical kit. We're not gonna put it in there, but you could fit this in something this size. And so I was looking for the marbles box that we got, the water, the orange marbles box for storage, and that's something that would go perfectly in there. Or like it might fit in this one here. This is like I had a large tin. Yeah, so see, you could fit this in this large tin, my survival kit. Right? You could fit this in here, and then you have tape, cordage, and fishing line right there. And so then boom, when you need to set up, you just pull out your survival tin and you're good to go. So pretty cool item. Definitely not as good as Christmas. Christmas is always the best one. I've gotten these I've got 3 Christmas. I've gotten 3 Christmases now, and Christmas, hands down, the best one you're ever gonna get, because you get that past, present, and future. And we got some really good ones this last Christmas. So if you're not familiar with what we got, you can go ahead and look back at the Christmas video, and then you can see where that is, because I'm not even sure where my freaking... I've been working in this office, so it's a little bit disorganized. Like I said, Happy New Year. I got plans. I'm not gonna disclose all my plans this year, but let's just say that I am able to take some additional time off this year, because I got paycheck. I got a pay raise, so things are looking a whole lot better right now, and so I'm gonna be able to take some Sundays off, and I plan on taking advantage of those Sundays to do some additional time to do like more quality videos, not just sitting here at the desk, because I got to get out of this office. These four walls is just, ugh, it's just like dragging me on, and I got so much cool stuff, and I don't want to be that guy that just, yeah, I keep opening boxes, but yeah, he never uses any of it. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I do test some of the stuff, but I actually want to get out there and actually use it. So, and it's one of those things, you know, fighting the economy, you know, you got to do what you got to do, and you know, we had a really rough last year. This year's definitely going to be a lot better. We still have some challenges that we're going to have to get past, but this year's definitely going to be a lot better. And of course, we've if you watch like the last video I put, I think it was the last video I put up where I did the SHTF, and that box is gone. Yeah, we're not going to be looking at SHTF box anymore. Yeah, I've gotten some okay stuff out of it. I'm not going to say anything was great, but you know, I mean, like, you know, this first aid kit, this was a Trailblazer first aid kit, and you know, it's a pretty good first aid kit. We've gotten some, you know, obviously we got some plasma lighters that are still really good and really functional. I've used these. I gotta charge it, but I think this other one has a charge still. But you know, I use these at work from time to time. You know, to get the pilots going and stuff. So we've gotten some okay stuff for, you know, okay stuff, but I don't know. And that last box, Christmas's box was just, I mean, I don't want to say Christmas, but December's box was just so egregious. And I mean, the best item in the box, literally, we got the month before, which was the shovel. And I mean, I'm not saying that that's like an awesome item, but it was the best item in the box. Maybe the Forever Match, that's pretty cool. I've used that at work too. But for the most part, that box is just such a letdown. And so, moving forward, we are going to be doing Barrel and Blade. And again, any of these boxes you get, it's always going to be kind of like up in the air. But if you haven't seen, I don't know where that card is anymore. But the last few months, Barrel and Blade was putting out some pretty good stuff. They had a Condor plate carrier, and hold on a second here. And so, as you can see, Condor, they made my plate carrier. And so basically, you know, so but you know, so I mean, I think in October they gave out. That was the first month we got the Chatline one. But in October they put out a Condor plate carrier. It wasn't this one, but it was still a pretty nice Condor plate, and it's a good quality. I mean, Condor makes quality gear, and so. And then the next month they gave out, I think, some level 3 plates. Maybe a level 3 plate. I didn't get the boxes, so I don't know. But I saw what was in the box. The same month that they put out the plate carrier, they had a SOG machete, or a Gerber machete. SOG machete. And they also had like a really cool compact fishing kit. So they put in some really cool stuff in those boxes. And I know that... it's just, it's a lot better gear. Yeah, you don't get as much, you know, because with the SHTF, you know, you get like 9 items, but, you know, you're going to get stuff like, you know, you're going to get stuff like this. I mean, look at this. That's quality right there, right? So, you know, you're going to get knives like this with SHTF. You know, this thing is just not even well built at all. It's just... It looks nice, and then after you use it a little bit, this thing got super loose, and it's just, and I bet it unscrews at the top too. This thing is just janky, and this is the kind of stuff you get from SHTF. It looks cool and all, but and don't get me wrong, this is a beautiful handle. I love the color, but the quality is just not there. Um, but I mean, but then you also get some like this. So you also get something like this, right? This was the Bushmaster Survival, and this one is what 1095 high carbon steel. This thing throws sparks like nothing. It holds a really good edge. This is actually I like this knife. I really do like this knife. This is a good bushcrafting knife. It's not. I mean, it's got a very short blade, but this is still a very good bushcrafting knife, and it's a high. It's in my opinion, it's a higher quality knife. This is another one of those Bushmaster ones. It's a more a knockoff, but again, still a pretty decent knife. This one is also Bushmaster Survival, and for a folding knife, it's okay. So they do give out some okay items. Again, I'm saying okay. I'm not saying that those are good. The one Bushmaster Survival, the Bushmaster Survival, the one knife was actually a pretty good knife. I'm not, I can't knock on it. I've used it. It's a pretty good knife. But Barrel and Blade it has much better companies that put the gear in there, and so we're gonna be trying that one for a year. We were already getting the Chow line. I didn't do the last Chow line video. It was a couple Ready Wise meals ready to go. Came with some chili and some apple chips, which is really cool, but it's like a self-heating container, almost like an MRE. And so I didn't do a video on that because it was just like, it's food. I am still getting it, but this month it's gonna come. I'm assuming, but we should get both the Chow line and the Recon, which is the level 2 Barrel and Blade, all in the same box. So it's gonna be a much better opening. Instead of just showing you, oh look, I got these two, it'll be like, okay, so we got these gears and we got this Chow, and that's something that I think really sets the Barrel and Blade box above most of the rest, is because you can actually, get, freeze dried meals, you're gonna get food in it as well. You're gonna get survival type food, and I remember there was one box that the website has been broken for so long. I'm pretty sure that they're just a dead one anymore. You can't order anything. It always glitches. But I saw some old survival boxes videos, and those things were really pretty well thought out. You had like a box A, which was gear, a box B, which was like food and seeds, and then you could get like box C, which was like half and half. So if you wanted everything, you have to get box A and B. In box C, you got a little bit from A and a little bit from B. But those ones, they put in rations. They put in like water. They put in like heirloom seeds. You get good quality gear with it. But I guess they went under probably because their boxes were too good and they just couldn't keep it up. But some pretty good stuff coming out this year. So we are gonna be doing that. We're gonna keep it the Grim Workshop because it's $20 a month. I mean, it's hard to argue your way out of this one. The Grim Workshop is very cool. It's one of my favorite ones to date because you get stuff that is useful, and honestly, it's also kind of expendable because like if you lose a fish hook, well, you got another 5 cards that have fish hooks on it. But you're spending $20 a month and you're getting like a lot of like really useful items. So I do recommend the Grim Workshop. I'm not affiliated with them, so I don't get any kickbacks or anything like that. This is just my opinion, but I really like the Grim Workshop. We are still getting Gear Pack. Last year, well, let's see. So 2 years ago, Gear Pack was almost gone with me because the boxes that they were putting out were just so bad. But, and the first couple years I was getting Gear Pack, well, like year and a half, and it seemed to me like the first full year of Gear Pack I got like 3 good boxes, and then 3 that were like, they're okay, and then 6 of them that were just rubbish. Absolute rubbish. You're giving me useful and high quality items, but I mean, what am I going to do with 2 car washable garbage, trash cans? in gear pack. It made no sense. But this last year it was probably about a 50-50. We got a lot of really, in my opinion, we got a lot of good, useful items last year from Gear Pack that actually have relevance. And I got some stuff that I was gonna buy anyway, like the Spice Kit. I was gonna buy the Spice Kit, but we got some cool grills. We got, I mean, we got all kinds of cordage. I mean, you cannot go wrong with cordage. And now, granted, I would have done something a little bit. I would have put in something a little bit in addition to just cordage with the knot box. You know, you could have put in, almost like even like with the SHTF box, we got that pamphlet on how to tie knots. You could have put in. I'm sure that Marbles or somebody makes those like the cards like this that showed you how to tie a bunch of knots. And in all honesty, that I think is the only thing that if you would have had some type of material in that box that showed you how to tie the knots, I think that would have been probably about as perfect of a box as you could get. You know, because you had a knife, you had cordage, but all you needed was something to show you how to tie the knots. And you would have had like a perfectly themed, just awesome box. But I still love that box. I mean, you can't go wrong with cordage. And then they had the camp one, the camp out or whatever it was called. And that one, you had fire starter gel, you had like pull starters, you had a camp grill. I think that one had a knife, because the only one that didn't have a knife was the actual knife box didn't have a knife. And that one was probably my favorite box I got because we got oils, we got sharpening stones, we got a folding sharpening stone, you got almost everything you needed to make a knife care kit. And that one was just so last year Gear Pack really impressed me. I hope they keep up with the same level of consciousness to actually put out good quality product. So I think that between Gear Pack and Barrel and Blade, I think this year we should actually get some quality gear that we're actually going to be able to put to better use. I know with Barrel and Blade, we're going to get, and to be honest, we got some good knives from Gear Pack last year also. We got the one from Fox Knives, a Defcon. That thing is super sharp. It's kind of a weird blade, but I understand it. We got one really good, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but we got one of those Smith & Wessons we got is really good. I love that knife. It's super sharp. It feels so good in the hand. And for a folding knife, it's really great. And then we started the year, I think we got a machete at the beginning of the year, or maybe that was last year, but I think it was last year. But we got some Gerbers. We got some good knives from Gear Pack last year as well. So last year Gear Pack honestly surprised me. I was almost dead sure that I was going to be canceling Gear Pack this year because I was like, they're going to keep doing the same garbage. And even like the last box was actually, and it was one of those boxes that the title tells you everything you need to know. It was like, on the go or camp ready or something like that. And it was one of those boxes where it was like, oh, this is going to be nothing good in here. And even that one wasn't too bad. So, but I've rambled on long enough. Hey, if you've gotten this far, why aren't you subscribed? I mean, come on, seriously. You need to subscribe to the channel. We're at 455 right now. Hit 500. We're going to have that giveaway. I got a bunch of stuff to give away. We're going to have 2 giveaways when I hit 500 because we also got a whole bunch of fishing stuff. The fishing is going to be a little bit slow this month. We're just going to have our monster bass. And I'm probably going to pick up some stuff at Walmart, at the Daiso, because I want to look at some of that stuff. The fishing is going to be a little bit slower this month. Getting everything, put into place. We do want to start the post fly, and we will be picking up Lucky Tackle Box again. It's just that I had to kind of like juggle some stuff because I have been working on my second channel, um, El Paso Food and Fun. So hey, if you want to check that one out too, that'd be great too. Basically, I'm gonna review restaurants. I'm opening up like a bunch of like old wax packs of like different sports cars, baseball, football, because yeah, it's like I'm getting ready for like the next apocalypse, but you still got to have a life. So I'm not. This is not 100% me. I like normal stuff too. I like sports. I like movies. Definitely like eating. Probably like eating too much. Although, the VA is gonna set me up with some programs so that I can take a few pounds off and I can get back into shape. I'm gonna be hitting the gym a lot harder this year. I've already got some food in the ground. Oddly enough, I had the jalapeno that took forever to grow. It was like my jalapeno was like this tall all summer, and then in August it shot up like this. It's still alive. It didn't freeze this year, thank God. I have one tomato that's still alive. It's kind of kicking, but we had some bad wind last night, so it might have given up the ghost. But I put some Swiss chard into a bucket. We're gonna try doing some Swiss chard. If I can get that growing early, we should start getting some harvest, soon. And then as it gets warmer, it should like really produce a lot. And we're gonna be doing some. Again, it's still the beginning of January. So, but the end of February, I'm gonna be starting to get a lot of stuff. I'm actually gonna. This right here is just like it was an experiment. So none of this is. I mean, I'm probably just gonna, if this is still alive in 2 months, I'll use it. But in February we're gonna be putting both of our seed systems here to work, and it's gonna give us a lot of sprouts, and we're gonna get some peppers going. So we're gonna get some bell peppers. We got red, yellow bell peppers. We're gonna get some squash going. We're gonna get some melons going. We're gonna get some cucumbers going. Some tomatoes. We're gonna get. Plus, I have the solar drip system. I got to get that set up, and we'll go through that. I'll get that set up, and we'll do a review of that as well. And then on the far side of the house, the raised bed is there. I'll be picking up the soil this month, and then so we're going to be getting that raised bed ready for February. And the end of February, we're going to get the corn. We're going to get the corn straight into the ground. We're going to get the sunflower straight into the ground so we can get those going early. And we're not going to put those in buckets this year because if I have them just straight in the ground, I think they're going to do a lot better, even in a raised bed. I got a feeling that the containers kind of stunted their ability to grow a little bit. And I want to get some of these nice big sunflower heads. So we're going to get the sunflowers and the corn directly in the ground come February. We're going to get these going in February so that the stuff that's going into the buckets will be sprouted already. We're going to try to get some eggplant, some bell peppers, again, cucumbers, squash, melons, some cantaloupe, some cantaloupe and some watermelon. We're going to try to get all that going. I do plan on getting some of the trees down into the yard. I got like 5 plots in the front, 5, 6. I got 8 plots in the front that I got to get trees in. The pomegranate tree is still doing great. It's getting new leaves already, so we're gonna be doing that this year. So, but yeah, and we're gonna be doing some traveling this year. So, and again, we'll be putting those videos up on El Paso Food and Fun. We're gonna be going to the museums. We're gonna be doing, full spectrum living, right? Because yeah, I do believe in preparing for whatever comes next, right? Whether it's blackouts, whether it's earthquake, a tornado, I believe that each of us has a responsibility to prepare ourselves and our family for those things. And I think that there's worse things that could happen, and so I want to prepare those as well. But in all honesty, if you take nothing from my channel whatsoever, is that you need to prepare you and your family for, even if you just do like a week's worth of, okay, you know what, we got water for a week, we got food for a week. So if we can't leave the house for a week, then we're at least we're good, right? Because a lot of this, because in all honesty, a lot of the stuff that might happen to you is going to be, you know, a couple days, maybe a week. And so if you have that ready for a week, you have 7 days worth of food, 7 days worth of water, flashlights, you know, first aid kits, you know, you have the basic stuff that you need to survive for a week, then you are way ahead of most Americans, to be honest. You're way ahead of most Americans. And then, you know, that way it's like, you know, if there's a forest fire, if there's an earthquake, if there's a flood, if there's, you know, you have the, at least you have the tools at your hands to be good for a week. And then by the time a week goes by, hopefully everything is back to normal. But if not, you've bought yourself a week that other people don't have, that you can actually say, okay, look, hey, we're 5 days in and it's not looking any better. We might have to start thinking about doing something else. But at least you have that buffer zone so that you're ready to go. And so, if nothing else, just take that, you know. And again, I've said it before on my channel. I think that the two most likely scenarios for an SHTF situation, an economic collapse, or some type of EMP. Those are the two things I think that we're honestly going to have to deal with. Now, if either of those happen, then everything else is just going to kind of start falling into place, you know. You're going to have, you know, like you're going to have military rolling in just because they're going to have to, you know, they're going to provide some type of assistance or something. But honestly, I think that the most, and you know, and I'm not talking like someone like detonating a nuke over, I'm talking like a solar flare or something. Like there's a lot of things that naturally could cause an EMP that would, you know, short everything out. So now we have no electricity, we have no internet, we have no cell phones. People are going to lose their mind. And then of course the other one is, and this is the, in my opinion, the most likely scenario is, you know, we're in 2026, right? We're in 2026. And what, 1929, that's when the Great Depression started. And around that time, I mean, my history's a little bit off. But around that time frame, around this time frame, 100 years ago, we had the Great Depression. Where, you know, economies fell. You know, food was you know, everything, you know, the United States, not just the United States, but the world kind of collapsed. And then we had to relearn everything. And we had to, you know, come up from the dust and, you know, get strong again. And in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, but I foresee that being the most likely scenario where anything that I do or say is going to become relevant. So it's like when I'm building up food stores, right? I'm not building up food stores because I think, you know, I don't have firearms because I think there's going to be a zombie apocalypse or anything like that. That'd be cool, don't get me wrong, but we all know it's not going to happen unless it's bath salt zombies. But, you know, we may have to protect yourself from, I mean, I had to protect my house from, we had a home invader in the backyard. And so I had to get out there. So, you know, and I had a firearm. So I was able to stabilize the situation. Didn't happen to open fire, but, you know, if I had to, I was ready. I was able to stabilize the situation. I had the firearm, so I was able to protect myself and my family. And that's why, you know, I don't think that we're going to, you know, it's the whole Civil War aspect. We're already at Civil War. I mean, if you think about it, we're already at a Civil War. And it's, you know, social media plays a part in it, but we're already involved in a civil war between the left and the right, you know. And then there's the people that are just kind of stuck in the middle that just, you know, yeah, it's like you may lean one way or the other, but the normal people like me and you, we're going to be stuck in the middle of the elites fighting, you know. And so we're already seeing this push and pull with the government. And so it's already going on. We're already in the middle of it, and it's not going to be, we're not going to be going to arms with each other, right? It's not like, the left are going to actually be fighting the right like that. It's all going to be done digitally, social media, and so, hey, you know what? Maybe an EAP be the best thing for us, because then we don't have to hate people because of what we see on social media. We don't have to hate people because of what this person says about this person says about this person, right? Because we'll actually have to get out there, interact with our neighbors, and realize that deep down inside, with the exception of some zealots on both sides, we're all pretty much the same inside. You know, it's like I want to keep my family safe, well fed, house, roof over their head, you know, and somebody who has a different, ideology than me that has a family, that they want the same thing. Now, our ideas of how to get there might be drastically different, but at the end of the day, if you strip away all the little nuances and everything, if you strip everything away, we all want the same thing. We just want to be happy, healthy, have our family safe. I mean, that's what I think. So maybe I'm overly hopeful of society, but anyway, I've talked on long enough. If you've made it this far, you are definitely a trooper. So, and I'll tell you what, if you've made it this far in the video, if I want you to write gazpacho soup in the comments. If you write gazpacho soup in the comments, when I have my giveaway, I'm going to give you an extra entry into the giveaway. How about that? Because you're a real trooper. And until next time, keep prepping, guys.